Day 2 of the challenge. And lesson has been learned. Do not procrastinate doing this because it doesn't get any easier. And I was thinking of all the reasons that I wouldn't have to. So today is brought to you by the word paradox. I would define paradox similar to the way that Brene Brown does it in her writing, where you have two opposites that are both true at the same time. Because for me, this challenge is a paradox. Because I want to get better at doing something, but I want to stay safe and I don't want to change. Both of those are true. And so I think, this is where I'm going to learn how to hold my camera, how to do all the other stuff. We mentioned this is a learning process. And if I look at the camera, then it's just weird. This is why I have to walk. But it ended up getting late enough that walking just wasn't an option. So I think for me, the paradox of, one of the last clients I was working with tonight, we were talking about really, really needing to sleep, but being too tired to sleep. Both of those are true. I have been there so many times, as I actually have an alarm set for bedtime, and it might have gone off 20 minutes ago. But I know that my mind's not going to go to rest. I have learned that there is so much power, wrong word, that it is such a good thing for me to have a time to wind up my day. That I have to go through and say, this is what got done, this is what didn't get done, and this is where it goes. One of the things that I love to do, honestly, I do need to do that. And then I take everything else that I cannot think of that moment, because that's what's like keeping me from falling asleep, is that lack of organization. It's that chaos, right? And and then I just shove it in the closet and say, Angels, this is your job. And I will do things where I will put on headphones and do yoga nidra, because I'm not going to do it on my own. I need somebody to walk me through it. And I think one of the reasons that I'm thinking about it is they say that unhappiness is the gap between your real life and your ideal life, where you think that you should be. It's like that whole expectation thing. Like and for me, it's that tension that you should be happy where you are, but you should always want to improve. It's how do you hold that paradox, right? How do you hold both of those things? Because in Buddhism, desire is the root of all suffering. Because if you're wanting something that you don't have, the pain of it, right? But at the same time, complacency, what was it? It was in He Who Fights with Monsters. He's got a really good line in it, that the opposite of good isn't evil. I'm going to have to go look up this line. The opposite of good is complacency. And because you always have to be improving, you always have to have that creative force, because anytime that you quit trying, it evolves into something less. I did try to prepare for this. I really did. And it's been on my mind. And I was thinking, this is only day 2. How is it that I have no idea what content to present? Oh, wait, then I'm going to present on not having any content to present. But I feel that it's like so urgent that this is something that I need to do to improve, right? And I do want it to look good, even though I know that I have to say, okay, I'm just beginning at this. And I'm going to have to evaluate these. There is a line in a scripture that says, I would give up all of my sins to know God. I ran across it the other day, and that really, really hits me, right? Where what is it that I'm holding on to that is preventing me from having that relationship that I really desire, from being able to feel that source? Because I look at how many times that I will deliberately create chaos so that I am actively doing something, but not the thing that is going to give me that peace. And I create distractions. So to me, the power of paradox, I don't think necessarily that it's just that there are two options, right? Because there's the, I want to create this content, I want it created without me having to do it. Yeah, that's paradox, right? I mean, how do I have any of the story if I don't do the work? But it's also what happens when we resist leaning into the difficulty, and how choosing the other part of not leaning in, of not getting the work done, is so incredibly destructive. Because I know in a year, I'm gonna look at this video and it's gonna be so embarrassing. But you wanna know what's awesome? I'm gonna keep on doing this because I want it to be embarrassing, because I'm that much better. Because I don't want to be 1 year from now creating videos like this. I want them better. But this is day 2 of me figuring out how to do it. And me figuring out how to do it even when it's hard. And I'm tired. And I don't even know what I'm saying.